Hi everybody, it's Michael Buckley and welcome back to The Struggles is Reals. It's back! And I'm so excited to have my very good friend MEGHAN TONJES, who just said...
Oh, I don't even remember.
Have we ever made a video together?
No, I don't
We've known each other since like 2009, 8, I don't even know. You stayed at my house.
I did. 2008, I met you, and then I creepily stayed at your house.
You did. I loved it. You sang a song, you recorded a video, it's on her channel. MEGHAN is a wonderfully talented singer, writes originals, she travels and does. So if you ever get a chance to see her live, by all means see her live. But she's also become quite the vlogger and social commentator with her booty revolution, and it's kind of like the moment something goes terribly wrong in the YouTube community, everyone's like, wonder what Tonjes is gonna say about this.
I'm the poison of the YouTube community. And I keep it going.
You're the poison. What was the other thing I kept calling you? We had two things. You're like, I'm the poison.
I'm the poison, I'm the biggest bully on this site.
Something. Well, aren't you? Well, anyway, and I'm the best Catholic on the site.
You are. If there's, Buckley is nothing if not a good Catholic.
Thank you. I'm giving up nothing for Lent, except my dignity. So, on this channel, you know, I've been talking a lot about like my struggles and my obstacles and kind of overcoming things. And on this series, I've been talking to my YouTube friends and kind of saying, you know, what have been some of their biggest challenges in life and how the heck have you overcome them? And I mean, what if I asked you that, like, what would you want to talk about?
Oh God, there's like endless things.
And on your channel, you talk about a lot of these things, but
I do.
Yeah, what should we talk about?
Well, I think one of the big things that I've gone through the past few years is being disowned. That's a thing.
And I remember your tweet, and I'm like, is this clickbait? What do you mean you're disowned, MEGHAN? Like, and it was so tell that story and how that all went down.
So, how do I tell the story? It's a little complicated, but essentially, like, for years, there's been stuff going on with my parents, and I was not a fan of things that my dad was doing. And I hit him up on Father's Day a few years ago. I was at Bonnaroo. I hit him up on Father's Day, and I said, hey, I love you. I know about some of the stuff that's going on. I'd really like to talk to you. And for a year, he didn't speak to me. I would come home to Michigan. He would refuse to talk to me or see me. So the next Father's Day, this past one, or the one before, I texted him and I said, hey, you know, I love you. Happy Father's Day, but, you know, things are kind of fucked up. And if you want to fix them and you want to be part of my life, like, I would like that, but you have to work on it. And his response was, fuck you.
Oh, gosh.
Don't talk to me like that, you little bitch. Forget that I'm your father and I'll forget that you're my daughter. And there's a lot of other things, essentially, but...
Did you reply?
I replied. I had some things to say. I was like, oh, I was being nice to Tonjes for the past few years, but now, I mean, I essentially told him, you know, the low cutting thing, it wasn't really low cutting, but I knew it would hurt him. I specifically said I think Grandma would be ashamed.
Oh, yeah.
Because I knew that my grandma passed away, and you know he loved her very much, and so she would be very upset about it, and so. A few other things I was very calm about it. I cried a little bit and then I was very calm and I was just like, listen, I've given you all these opportunities. I've really tried to mend this. You've had plenty of chances and I'm not, you know. The next day I made a video, as I do. Yeah. And I was like, okay, I need to make something funny. I need to make something that's kind of irreverent because that's the only way that I'm able to deal with this. And so I made top 10 reasons to get disowned. And I was like, well, guys love girls with daddy issues. I save money at Christmas. And,
so what a great story of turning something that was a coping strategy was to turn it into a video content where you could kind of feel love from your community and also turn it into, it's in a way you almost have to laugh. Otherwise, you're just going to be in therapy for the rest of your life about this, right?
I can't afford it. I need to make YouTube videos. I mean, for me, it was... I don't do well like suffering in silence. Like I don't do well to have something bad happen and not talk about it. I just talk about things. That's how I get through and how I deal with things. And so making a video was really, really important. But then it was like 3 days where it just hit me. And then I just sat at home and ate pizza and was very bummed out. And then the third day I started writing a song called Oh Father. And it was like, I cried through the entire process. Every line, I just would start sobbing. But it was like, it was important because it was all the things that I needed to say. And, you know, everything, it was like, I took something really painful and made something that was really, really beautiful. And I don't perform that song often live, but when I do, it's like a really amazing feeling. Like everyone's very silent. I think a lot of people are dealing with a lot of their own parent issues. And I guess the way that I've kind of dealt with it is just trying to talk about it as much as possible and make art from it. I mean, why feel pain if you can't monetize it?
Yes. But did you, is this something did you see this coming over the years? Did it all lead up to this? Or were you, when it happened, like, oh God, I can't believe this happened? You're like, oh, I knew someday this might happen. Or
it wasn't something I thought about.
Yeah.
It was, in my head, I kept thinking, okay, well, at some point something has to give. Like, this can't go on forever. I mean, I went for years and no one knew anything about me just being on the phone with my mom, dealing with her stuff and trying to be a friend to her more than a daughter, which is a really hard position to be in. But I was like, better me than my brother. And, I always figured that at some point it would click for him and he would make amends, or he would apologize, or he would admit to what he was doing. And we all wanted to forgive him. We all wanted it to work out. But he just kept being really vicious about it. And for me, I never assumed that I would get disowned. I was pretty close with my dad before I moved to LA, and then we just have not spoken at all. And so it felt like a death in a lot of ways. Like talking to my mom, I would always prefer him in the past tense. And it was always like I envisioned my dad before, and then I envisioned my dad now, but it almost feels like it's a different person. So it was a mourning process. Like, I think for the past few years, I've probably in some way been preparing myself and like detaching myself a little bit. Maybe I knew that it was going to happen before I could actually
I mean,
realize.
you had a pretty good relationship with him before.
Yeah.
Did just a multitude of events happen that just led up, or was it one thing? Did you, it's like, what,
It was, you know what it was? It was, he was doing things that hurt my mom, and I was on her side for it. I just couldn't get behind him. I have a lot of empathy for people, but I just couldn't get behind him and what he was doing. And for me, it was like, you honestly believe you can do whatever you want, you can hurt whoever you want, and there should be no repercussions. And because you hate your life, then you should be able to do whatever you want. And for me, it's like so many people in my life, as I'm getting older, I'm trying to like weed out all the bad people, or at least like keep people around me that keep me in check and make me want to be a better person. So why would I treat that any differently just because it's a family member?
Right. I always say that just because they were a sperm donor doesn't make them a father. A father is behavior. It's not, it's a father is behavior.
It's true. I mean, I'm very thankful for, there are a lot of good things that my dad did for me. There are a lot of like things that he taught me, especially about like business and how to treat people. And it's unfortunate, like it's like really heartbreaking that it's kind of become what it is. But I don't feel like I didn't grow up with a father. I had a father, and then I just feel like things change. I feel like it's very unique, I think, to be born to someone that all of your life you like. And that you love, and that you are good to each other. Like people that have those relationships, I'm just like, that's incredible. But I think that's very unique. I don't think that that's necessarily, just because you're born to someone doesn't mean that you're going to get along or that you're going to be good for each other.
And this happened 2 years ago?
This happened 2 years ago.
So what, have you heard from him or had any contact? No. So that's sad.
No, yeah.
That's sad. And how's your thoughts about it 2 years later? Still sad, still mad, just accepting now? What are your thoughts today?
It's one of those things where there are moments where I'll get sad. I think as I'm getting older, you have like your whole life planned out. You have all these ideas of who's gonna be there for what. So like in my head, I'm like, if I ever got married, if I ever have kids, I've always envisioned my dad being around for those things. Yeah. And so it's like seeing my friends go through that and realizing, oh, this person's not gonna be there. This person's probably not gonna walk me down the aisle. This person's probably not gonna be someone that you have to restructure your entire life, which is really painful and confusing. Yeah. And I think it's gonna, there are gonna be moments, like I can imagine, like if I ever get married and I'm about to walk down the aisle, I'm probably gonna,
sure,
it's probably gonna be very emotional.
The loss will hit you. This is not what I
That's why
pictured.
It feels very much like a death.
Yeah.
And it is one of those things where I got a lot of response from people that have gone through similar things, and I've gotten response from people that said, you never know, like maybe it'll work itself out, maybe he'll apologize. And it's possible, but I think I also realize my dad's older and it takes a long time to fix those things, and someone has to be willing to fix them. And so I think for me, I can't live thinking, oh, well, one day he might apologize. I have to live thinking, okay, this is done now. And like, how do I move forward? Yeah. And it would be very hard to go backwards. And it's very hard because my mom's still married to my dad.
Yeah.
And I'm very close with my mom.
Yeah.
And so that's a little tricky. Like, it's probably one of the reasons I don't really go home to Michigan very much. I don't really talk to my family. I talk to my mom and my brother, but everyone else doesn't really know why I don't come home. And so there's always that fear in my head that's like, I think for him, he thinks I moved to LA and I got so high and mighty.
Yeah.
And so there is that fear that, like, you know, all the people that, like, know him, I've heard his version of a story.
Right.
And just think I'm, like, some asshole making videos on the internet.
Right. Aren't I?
I mean, really, that's my Twitter bio.
No, but I mean, you're such a great example and a role model for every human being in terms of, it's like, you know, I love what you said about, it's good to talk, because you think about all the people who keep so much inside, and even if you talk to a friend, you talk to a therapist, you turn on the camera, you talk to the internet, there's something so helpful and cleansing about not keeping those things in.
Yeah,
you know?
I probably talk too much, according to my roommate. But I mean, that's just, I think that's how I learn. It's like always like very audible. Like this is where I should throw enough sponsorship for Audible. It's like very audible. The way I work through things is just through talking, and so that's been really good with songwriting and making YouTube videos. But it's hard because I don't talk about my family a lot on YouTube. They've never been really in videos. My mom has been in a few videos now and they love her. But I've never really shared that part of my life. And so it was one of those things where I can't get on camera and not tell people why I'm so upset. I can't hide that. And so it was a big thing for me to open up and say, hey, you know, I'm 29 years old and I was just disowned. Not for anything I did. It's not like I was like, you know, doing drugs and needed a bunch of money or like doing something abusive or toxic to my family. It was literally my dad's actions, and then I just didn't agree with them. And so even though he disowned me, it kind of feels like I disowned him a little bit. Yeah. And within a few weeks, I think I made another video called Here's to Being Free. Yeah. And it's just like, in a lot of ways it's very sad, but in a lot of ways I felt very like light. I felt very good. I was like, I don't have to deal with this anymore. Now I have, you know, I'm in a position where I can live my life. I don't have to hide a secret anymore. I don't have to pretend that I like someone that I don't. And I can kind of start healing, which is something that I wish for my mom at some point too. Yeah. Because it's a great place to be.
Well, Megan, you haven't seen him in years, but I've got, he's floated. Dad, come out.
Finally.
I'm going to Dr. Phil the shit out of this.
That would be so good.
Can you imagine?
I would have loved it.
Well, Megan.
I'm like, if anyone's going to bring me back with my dad, it's Michael Buckley.
Oh, man.
I mean, I'm an orphan now, so will you adopt me?
Oh, my God. There were children downstairs, and I was like, to a lesbian YouTube couple, and I said to the kids,
yeah.
I'm your father. Like, I'm your father, and everyone's dying. Like, who's this? Well, I love you so much, and thank you for sharing your voice and your talents and your opinions, and you are just such an asset to the world, and so thank you. Thank you for being you. You're an asset to the world. So I thank you for your friendship, and I thank you for your candor, and I thank you for being you 100% of the time.
Love you.
I love you
Who knew
too.
that all those years ago when we were eating Chinese food and watching America's Next Top Model, practicing our runway walks,
it would come to this.
That it would come to this.
Yay! Well,
we're finally family. Yay, my new dad.
Yes, that's the thumbnail. My new dad. So check out Megan's channel below, and thanks for subscribing. And New Struggles is Reels weekly. So yay!
Yeah, I love it.
Thank you.
My baby.
Mwah.
Love you.
That was great.
Yeah.
Thank you.